my next load, or shall we say current load. It's not too heavy, but a bit on the heavy side, and the way it has to be loaded like this, it puts a lot of weight on the truck, you know. And over here they just use some boards, you know. The whole thing sits kind of crooked, I don't know, but that's what I got. So it's not touching the trailer. It's what they call baler. Like this thing, they use it in recycling. It's a big machine, so see, those are the controls over here. So picked it up in Georgia and heading to Ontario. And the rate for this load, which is a much smaller load and much lighter, is pretty much the same as what I got paid for that 90,000 pound excavator, where I wasted 10 days. And so I asked the permit service company, send me if they have it, some kind of a list, like what states, what they consider a super load. So I did not know this, because before I was owner operator, and I was kind of like shielded from this by the management, right? Because they would decide which load is worth looking into. If they see the cheap rate, they would not offer it to me. But now, you know, there's a bunch of states, right? There's a bunch of jurisdictions, the provinces in Canada, so they're all different. And so I'm going to assemble kind of like a little library of documents, so that next time I will know, let's say something like this. Okay, Georgia, I look at what states, you know, like I'll be passing, let's say for this one it's Georgia, Tennessee, Kentucky, Ohio, Michigan. And then I'll look into this, my little secret black book, and let's say, I know it's not true, but let's say I find out that Michigan requires a load like this to be requested like 10 days before the move, you know. And then I know, hey, wait a second, so I cannot do this for cheap, right? But that's the thing, like there's so many, like some people started blaming me, but there's so many regulations, you know. And yeah, normally I don't do this, I don't ask them to increase the rate, but it's just, you know, I was the only one losing money, everybody else was making money, right? And that's just not right. I'm not doing it out of charity, right? I need to make some money too. Like if I'm spending all the money on permits and escorts, and then the freight broker laughs on the way to the bank, you know, where the trucker is basically crying, stuck in the debt prison, that's not right. Because if the trucker is in prison, then the broker will have no truck, right? Like, you know, if everybody do it like me, you know, if all truckers, all carriers do it like this, brokers will be out of business. Because what they don't realize is that they need us, right? Quite often they don't think that, they probably think that they can get away without truckers, but I wish we could get away without brokers, but that's not how it works. But this is my next adventure, a nice neat load. See, everything is tucked inside the trailer, so I love it. It's just, this thing is 64,000 pounds. So I'll be running on all axles, all 8 axles, because actually the only reason we put this down is because you see where the end is. So again, that flip, that rubber would be over here. See that print over here? And so it would be in the way. But also the crane was not high enough. Like when this thing was flipped, they were not able to bring it over the axle, you know. And they said even for that you need to bring the axle, flip it down, so they can load it. And then I said, okay, we probably should keep it like that, flip down, because there's not enough space, you know. You guys need this. They need this space. But what I like about this machine is that there's lots of tie downs, and I used my shackles over here, and then I added another chain over there in the front, and I got 2 in here, 1 in there, and 1 in the front, you know. So I hope it should be okay. It's not that heavy, right? No comparison with the previous excavator. And the weather is great. It's summer everywhere. I'm walking in my t-shirt, right? My shorts. Very nice. It's still probably snowing in Canada. Yeah, I made it to a small truck stop, and saw them from the freeway. That's I-16 over there. And I saw that they had this truck loop center, and I think my trailer was overdue for some grease. So they greased the trailer, and they greased so under the wheels over there, and they greased the gooseneck. And one funny thing that happened when I was unloading the excavator, I noticed this, like these rings came out from inside when I was, you know, picking up and lowering on both sides, you know. And I just talked to mechanic over here, and he says that's not good, and that's a big job. He says that's a big job because they have to open those cylinders. And I said, okay, what's the worst that can happen if I don't fix it? And he says it'll start leaking oil from inside. So I took pictures, and now I'm gonna email it to the dealer in Canada and see if it's still covered under warranty or not. I'll tell you one thing, it's very hot in Georgia, especially when you have this nice pecan pie and half of it falls down. And one funny thing that happened, I was ready to move out from the truck stop. I got almost all my permits, and Tennessee wants me to run with a rooftop light, and now I have only one that's working. The other one just spins with no flashes. When I'm back in Canada, these things definitely go, and I'm installing LED lights on the same foundation that's already there. Anyway, Tennessee wants me to have one light operational at all times because I'm over 75 feet long. And I was just ready to leave, and then I decided, what about Georgia? Does Georgia want me to have any lights on, or what's going on? And I read my Georgia permit, and it says rear escort and or amber light is required. And I look at the length, what they listed is 80 feet. And so legal dimensions just heavy, like the width is legal, the height is legal, but just long and heavy. And I called the permit service company and just to double check, and they said yep. But I said, what about the permit? I know that you cannot operate an amber light without a permit. So can you get me this permit? Like, can I pay with a Visa over the phone? Can we do it like quick? And the lady says no, but I'm gonna give you a phone number. and you have to take care of this yourself. So I call one phone number that she gave me. It's Department of Public Safety at Georgia, but it was a wrong department or wrong section of the department, so the lady gives me the correct number. I call that one, and they explain to me that no, you cannot pay with a Visa, no, you cannot get it active right away, but there's a trick. Basically they say you print out that form, you fill it out, and you attach a mail order for let me say that again, $2. Cannot be personal check, cannot be cash, must be a company check, money order, or basically money order. And then you mail it to the address on the application. And she says, keep a copy of that application and take a picture of the money order. And that together serves as your 2-week temporary permit. Okay, so she says if a cop stops you, you just show them this. So you have 2 weeks from the date on the application to basically operate your amber light in Georgia. And she didn't say that it has to be mailed right away, but on their website it says that the lead time, like the time they need to process this $2 massive payment, is 2 weeks. So I can tell you that I'm glad to be getting out of Georgia. Like, too many rules in here. And of course they wanted my insurance of certificate, naming them as certificate holder. I thought I did it, but remember last time I had like a big forklift coming out of, but it was Alabama. So I did that for Alabama, but I did not do it for Georgia. So now I had to email my insurance broker, and they issued that certificate within like 10 minutes. But I did not do any, much driving today, because I have 3 days to reach my destination. The crane appointment is for Tuesday 8 a.m. in Sarnia, Ontario, and I think I got like 1,000 miles to go. And what's tricky also is that when I look at the Michigan permit, they denied weekend travel. But I think by the time I get to the border between Ohio and Michigan, it's already going to be Monday anyway. So, but over here, Georgia, Tennessee, Kentucky, Ohio, I can drive over the weekend. So that was my current load. I got money this afternoon for the previous load, and this one I'll be paid Monday. So money is rolling in, everything is good. Captain Sergei.